Okay, so we're diving deep today into the Bhagavad Gita, and whoa, right off the bat.
Yeah.
It just throws us into the middle of all this
Just
tension.
right into it.
Dhritarashtra's like, hey, Sanjaya, what's going down to Kurukshetra?
Yeah.
After everyone's all gathered,
Right.
ready to rumble. And it's not just any battlefield.
Oh, no. This is Kurukshetra. This is a Dharmic Kshetra. Like, it's
Oh, wow.
a field of righteousness. It's like the stage is set not just for a battle,
Right.
but a clash of ideologies, good versus bad light versus darkness.
It's like good versus evil playing out.
Exactly.
And that's what we're going to unpack today.
Absolutely.
It's whole incredible dialogue of the Bhagavad Gita, and we're using this source,
Right.
Bhagavad Gita, Swami B.G. Narasingha.pdf. It's a cool text.
Yeah.
It tries to bridge this ancient wisdom, to our modern world, and it lays out this whole system of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy,
Right.
Bhakti Yoga, and it even recommends, further reading, like
Yes.
A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's 1973 Macmillan edition.
Yeah.
And all these cool commentaries.
That's right. It's like a treasure trove of information.
So we've got lots to explore.
We do.
And meanwhile, back at the scene,
Yes.
we see Duryodhana. He's sizing up the Pandavas. It's that classic moment before everything explodes, where you can see the tension, the anxieties.
It's all the wheels turning, the strategies.
The strategies coming out. And even though we know this divine wisdom's going to come down,
Right.
it's still relatable.
No, absolutely. It's still very human, very grounded.
Very human.
In that pre-battle tension.
And then Arjuna's like, okay, Krishna,
Yeah.
take the chariot right between the armies.
Right into the heart of
I got to see who I'm up against. I need to see Bhishma.
Yeah.
I need to see Drona, all these kings and leaders.
All gathered there.
And you could practically feel him, like, processing this enormity.
Yeah. Just taking it all and the weight of it all.
The weight of it.
Yeah.
And then comes this huge moral crisis.
Right.
He sees his family, his teachers on the other side,
Mhm.
and he's just overwhelmed with grief. He doesn't want to fight.
He's having to face the very real human cost of this battle.
And he lays it out.
Yes.
He says it's messed up to kill your own relatives,
Even if they are the aggressors.
even if they are in the wrong.
Yeah, there's that inner conflict, isn't there?
What good comes from this bloodshed?
Yeah.
I'd rather be killed without fighting than do this.
Right.
And what's so powerful about that,
Yeah.
he recognizes how easily it is to slip into this moral corruption,
Absolutely. He even calls it wickedness.
to kill your own family just for power.
Just for a throne, for pleasure, for dominance.
And that's why Krishna steps in
Right at this pivotal point.
to deliver these teachings.
Yeah, it's not just about fighting a battle.
It's about this inner struggle.
It's about duty versus conscience.
Right.
That's why we're here.
So now we shift into this whole
Oh, powerful.
other level,
Yeah.
reality consciousness.
The big question.
And Krishna, right away, he's not just some random dude. The text reminds us he is the source of all avatars,
The original, the blueprint
appearing throughout time
to protect devotees.
to establish Dharma. It says this in the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes. And the Padma Purana even emphasizes Krishna alone
Wow.
is the one to be recognized as the ultimate master of the universe.
So it's not just
Right.
battlefield ethics.
He takes it to a whole other cosmic level.
And speaking of ethics,
Yeah.
while Arjuna is grappling with this idea of violence,
Mhm.
the Vedic tradition actually has guidelines
It does.
for dealing with aggression.
It does.
The Vasista Smriti and Manu Samhita lay out 6 types of aggressors.
Like the arsonist,
Well.
the poisoner, the attacker, the one who takes your resources by force.
The invader, the kidnapper.
All of these,
And it says that
according to those texts.
you can actually respond
Yeah.
with lethal force.
Right.
So it's not like,
It's not a purely pacifist tradition.
it's not a black and white
It recognizes that sometimes force is necessary
for justice and order.
within a greater framework.
It makes it more complex
It's new.
than Arjuna's initial, no fighting.
Right.
And that sets the scene for this deeper stuff.
Okay.
This whole idea of the eternal consciousness,
Right. The infinite,
the infinite Krishna himself.
and then the finite, the individual,
Gotcha.
the Atma, the self.
And the text says,
Yeah.
understanding this is key
It's the foundation of Vedic wisdom.
to all Vedic wisdom.
Knowing the difference between who you truly are
Right.
and this temporary physical body.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I change my clothes every day,
Yeah.
but I'm still me inside.
Exactly. The clothes change, the body changes, but the essence remains.
And Sanjaya sums up Arjuna's reaction.
He's like, I'm not fighting.
I'm not fighting.
And then silence.
And then silence.
And that silence speaks volumes.
It does.
It's the pause before the wisdom unfolds.
And Krishna immediately jumps in.
Yeah, he starts drawing this line.
Between eternal consciousness and the temporary body.
Right, the body that goes through birth, childhood, youth.
Old age, sickness, death.
And consciousness is like a traveler moving from one to another.
Based on our karma.
Yeah, our action have consequences.
So it's like the imperishable versus the perishable.
And recognizing that that's the point.
Right.
That's how we navigate this difficult world.
It's like if I truly understand that I'm not just this body, then death isn't as scary.
Exactly. The fear lessens when we identify with the eternal self that continues.
And the source even goes into these 5 stages.
Of embodied consciousness.
Right, like Annamaya, the food body.
Annamaya, the life force body.
Manamaya, the mental body.
Focused on material enjoyment.
Right, like most of us.
Yeah, caught up in the senses.
And then there's Vininamaya.
The wisdom body.
Nyanandamaya.
The bliss body, self-realization, connection with Krishna.
Like moving beyond just surviving.
Yeah, to truly thriving.
So Krishna's first bit of advice is to act based on this knowledge.
Of the self.
Which is called Sankhya.
And that leads to freedom from the bondage of action.
Which is yoga.
Exactly.
And it's encouraging because it says even a little dharma.
Even a little understanding.
A little righteous action.
Can save us from a lot of fear.
It doesn't have to be all at once.
Right. Small steps matter.
Small steps matter.
Yeah. Even a little bit of progress is progress.
And the ultimate yoga, it says,
is a samadhi.
Complete absorption.
Of consciousness in the supreme.
And you can attain this through bhakti yoga.
Right.
By following Krishna's instructions.
With determination.
With determination.
Right.
And we have this chance as humans.
This is the opportunity.
But if we blow it,
we risk falling down.
To lower forms of life.
Yeah, it's a pretty stark contrast.
It's a big deal.
It really highlights the value of this human life.
Right.
It's a chance for awakening.
Okay, so we've got this foundation.
Yeah.
Self-body liberation. But the Gita is real about the challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when it comes to our action and our minds.
The mind is a wild thing.
It is.
Krishna says even a wise person can get swept away by the senses.
It's so true.
It's like, you know what's good for you.
Yeah.
But those impulses, they take over.
Like trying to hold water.
Exactly.
Free in your hand.
Slips right through.
So we need constant self-control.
Right. Focus on Krishna.
For divine knowledge.
It's not a one-time fix.
No, it's an ongoing thing.
Like tending a garden.
And if you do that,
you master your mind.
You get divine grace.
The text says that.
And that leads to the end of suffering.
And a steady intellect.
So it all works together.
Yeah. Self-control, peace, clarity.
But then it warns us about...
Yeah, those fake gurus.
And to charlatan yogis.
Who say you don't need self-control.
And they're usually in it for themselves.
Seeking personal gain.
But the text is clear.
Unchecked senses lead to destruction.
Attachment desire, anger delusion.
Loss of intelligence.
It's serious stuff.
Yeah, we need to be discerning.
And another thing, it says, we can't reach divine consciousness.
Just by doing nothing.
Just by abstaining from action.
Right, we're forced to.
By material nature.
It's built into the system.
Like that car.
Yeah.
It's meant to move.
We're meant to engage.
So it's not about avoiding action.
It's about acting with the right consciousness.
Right intention.
Exactly.
Which brings us back to Arjuna's confusion.
Right. He's like, wait a minute.
He's like, you're talking about wisdom.
Yeah.
But now you're saying I have to act?
It seems contradictory.
It does. How do I live this?
And so Krishna introduces...
What?
The 4 social orders.
The Varnas.
Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas, Sudras.
And the text is really clear. This is not...
The caste system.
The caste system
not
based on birth. This is about inherent quality.
Right. Good karma.
From past life.
Like a natural division of labor.
Yeah. Finding your role.
And it says the highest perfection...
comes from pleasing Krishna.
By fulfilling our duty.
According to our Varna and Ashrama.
Like each instrument in an orchestra playing its part.
But even wise people get confused about
action karma.
And inaction of karma.
So Krishna promises to explain it.
For liberation.
This subtle topic.
It's not easy.
No.
So we're in this whole world of
action
and inaction.
Now we move to knowledge.
Sacrifice.
The path to wisdom.
And it describes this wise person.
Whose actions are free from selfish desires.
You're like consumed by the fire of knowledge.
They act, but they don't act.
They're detached from the results.
Satisfied and independent.
And then it talks about yajna,
Sacrifice.
As offerings into a fire.
Our senses into the fire of self-control.
Sense objects into the fire of the senses.
And all actions into the fire of knowledge.
This isn't just rituals.
Right. It's an internal process.
And the purpose of sacrifice
is purification.
Gaining the absolute truth.
Even worldly pleasures require some form of sacrifice.
So it's not about getting something for nothing.
It's about giving up something lesser.
To gain something greater. And it clarifies that these sacrifices aren't about like
human sacrifice.
Animal sacrifice.
No.
It's austerity.
Breath control.
Studying the Vedas.
Purifying knowledge.
Renunciating.
All aimed at realizing the truth.
And it addresses this idea
of everything being one.
Right.
God is one.
But it says that doesn't mean we are all God.
We're part of the whole.
We're part of the whole.
But not the whole itself.
God's distinct.
That's important for bhakti.
This personal relationship with the Supreme.
Yeah.
And then this powerful image.
Yeah.
Even the most sinful person.
Can cross the ocean of negativity.
By the boat of wisdom.
The fire of understanding burns away karma.
So hopeful.
Yeah.
But then it stresses the importance of
a true guru.
A real guru.
Someone rare who removes ignorance.
Not after your money.
No.
An authentic representative of Krishna.
Yeah, you need the right guide.
And to attain this wisdom,
it takes faith,
devotion,
self-control,
and the wise person. They see everyone as equal.
The Brahmana, the cow, the elephant, the dog, the outcast.
They've conquered birth and death.
By fixing their mind on the absolute truth.
Equanimity.
Rooted in the Supreme.
So now we're getting into transmigration.
The journey of the Atma.
Through all these life forms.
Aquatic, non-moving insects, reptiles, birds, quadrupeds, humans.
Until we reach human form.
Where we can reach our full potential.
Through yoga.
And this isn't just about physical evolution.
Right.
It's about the evolution of consciousness.
But yoga is not about extremes.
No.
No overeating, no starvation.
No sleeping all day, no staying up all night.
Moderation.
Balance.
And of course the mind.
Right.
Always the mind.
It's so hard to control.
It flickers. It's unsteady.
But the text says it's not the true self.
Right.
It's a sense within.
The self transcends death.
And Arjuna, he's like, how do I control this wind?
And Krishna's like practice and detachment.
Abhyasa and Vairagya.
It's possible.
With effort and letting go.
And we should take the Gita literally.
Yeah.
It's a real conversation.
Not some allegory.
And Krishna's everywhere.
He says he's in all beings.
As Paramatma.
And all beings are in him.
Seeing that as enlightenment.
Yeah.
But Arjuna's practical.
Right.
He's like, this yoga sounds intense.
Yeah.
I have a family.
Responsibility.
It's not for everyday folks.
So Krishna explains other paths.
Like bhakti. Okay, so Arjuna brings up a real concern.
Yeah.
Now, Krishna explained the manifestation of the divine.
Right. He starts with his eightfold nature.
Earth, water, fire, air, ether.
Mind, intelligence, false ego.
That's the inferior energy.
And then the superior energy.
Which is all living beings.
The Jiva Bhuta.
That's a whole cosmic framework.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is the text connects the Gita's idea of calm.
This invisible space.
To dark matter.
Which scientists can't even detect.
It's a cool link between ancient wisdom and modern science.
Yeah.
And the source emphasizes any real theory.
Has to include consciousness.
Not just matter.
Yeah, and super consciousness.
And Krishna says there's nothing above him.
Everything rests on him.
Like jewels on a thread.
A beautiful image.
Of interconnectedness.
Yeah.
And it talks about demigods.
Right. You can have faith in them.
And they can grant desires.
But ultimately, that power comes from Krishna.
So it's temporary.
Yeah, and you go to their realm.
But Krishna's devotees go to him.
Bhakti is for Krishna alone.
But it also says that people who do good deeds become purified.
And then worship Krishna.
With dedication.
From duality.
So good actions do matter.
Yeah, they prepare the ground.
And the goal is to attain Krishna's nature.
To become free from birth and death.
Now understand Brahman, the self, all actions.
And if you fix your mind on Krishna at death,
you reach his eternal abode.
The realm beyond the material world.
No more coming back.
Yeah, that's the ultimate promise.
And if you can't grasp Krishna's personal form, you can meditate on the impersonal Brahman.
But that's harder.
It has limited results.
Eventually you return.
To birth and death.
Right.
And all these planets.
Up to Brahmaloka.
They're all subject to birth and death.
Only attaining Krishna ends that cycle.
And it talks about Brahma's day and night.
Thousands of yugas.
Mind-blowing time scales.
Yeah, It puts our lives in perspective.
Okay, so we've covered reality and the divine.
Now we get to the supreme knowledge.
Divine manifestations.
Krishna calls this the most secret knowledge.
Combined with realization.
It frees you from all that's bad.
Because Arjuna is not envious.
He's receptive.
And this knowledge is like the king.
Of all education.
It's secret.
Perceivable.
Joyous.
Imperishable.
The best of the best.
Yeah.
And all beings rest in Krishna.
Like the wind in the sky.
At the end of Brahma's day.
Everyone goes back into him.
And then they manifest again.
At the start of a new creation.
But clinging to material stuff is a trap.
Those who chase enjoyment through rituals.
They get pious credits.
But they run out.
And they come right back.
It's temporary.
It's fleeting.
Yeah.
But for devotees,
Krishna promises
to carry what they lack.
And preserve what they have.
That's a beautiful promise.
Yeah.
And the text is clear.
Krishna's teaching this.
Out of love.
For Arjuna's benefit.
He cares.
Yeah.
And no one knows Krishna's origin?
Not even the demigods.
Or the great sages.
He's the source of them all.
The 7 sages. The 4 Kumaras.
The 14 Manus.
He's the beginning.
Yeah.
And only a true devotee.
Can understand him.
Free from duality.
United with him.
Seeing him in all things.
That's real knowledge.
And Krishna is so compassionate.
He appears in the hearts of devotees.
Destroying ignorance.
Like the lamp of knowledge.
And the source points out.
Yeah.
Verses 8 to 11 of chapter 10.
It's like the essence of the Gita.
Krishna as the origin.
Of everything.
Material, spiritual, Brahman Paramatma.
Narayana.
The foundation.
Yeah.
And then it lists the 9 processes of bhakti.
Hearing and chanting.
Remembering.
Serving his feet.
Worship.
Servitude.
Friendship.
Yeah.
The 9 limbs of bhakti yoga.
And real love for Krishna.
Without selfishness.
That's what's needed.
Yeah.
And Krishna empowers us with Buddha yoga.
Pure devotion.
So now we come to this incredible vision.
Universal form.
Arjuna's like, I believe it all, Krishna.
He accepts it as truth.
He says, even the demigods don't fully understand you.
Only you know yourself.
But then he sees the universal form.
Yeah.
And he freaks out.
He gets anxious.
He forgets Krishna's personal nature.
It shows that power alone
doesn't bring you closer.
It can be scary without love and devotion.
And Krishna declares, I am Time the Destroyer.
I've come to conquer all.
Even without you, Arjuna.
They're all doomed.
So it's like...
destiny is playing out.
And Arjuna's part of it.
Yeah.
But he still has a choice.
To fight or not. So Krishna's like, arise, gain glory. Conquer, enjoy the kingdom.
They're already defeated.
You're just an instrument.
It's about surrendering to the divine plan.
And even though fate is sealed
by Krishna's energy,
the chance for enlightenment
is always there.
It's hopeful.
Yeah.
And Arjuna bows down
to the universal form,
recognizing Krishna as the source
of everything.
But then he's like, can I see your normal form again?
He misses that personal connection.
Even after that cosmic vision.
He wants that intimacy.
And Krishna's like, no one can see this form.
Not through study or sacrifice?
Not through charity or rituals.
Only you, Arjuna.
It's all about grace and devotion.
Yeah.
And then it describes the unmanifest Brahman.
The impersonal aspect.
Eternal, inconceivable, formless.
All pervading the source of everything.
The demigods see this.
But it's not the ultimate.
Not for bhakti.
Where love is key.
And it describes the devotee who's dear to Krishna.
Yeah.
Free from hatred.
Friendly, compassionate.
No possessiveness, no ego.
Objective, forgiving content.
Self-controlled, resolute.
Mind and intelligence focused on Krishna.
This is the ideal.
The liberated soul.
And those who follow this dharma.
Seeing Krishna as supreme.
They're especially dear to him.
That's the path.
And the source says these qualities.
They're not just for personal peace.
They can lead to world peace.
Beyond religious labels.
It's about the essence of enlightenment.
Yeah.
Now we get into
Prakriti and Purusha.
Material nature and living beings.
Both beginningless.
And all the transformation.
Come from Prakriti.
It's the cause of actions.
But Purusha experiences the results.
Happiness and distress.
It's a duality.
And to see truly, we have to stop identifying with the body.
See all beings as equal.
Understand Brahman.
See the divine everywhere.
It's a shift in perception.
From limited to universal.
And the superconsciousness
that Paramatma
controls everything.
From within the hearts of all beings.
And inside every atom.
But it's never contaminated.
It's both immanent and transcendent.
Yeah, the guiding presence.
And if we understand the difference
Between body and self.
and the process of liberation,
We reach the supreme goal.
knowledge is key.
Yeah.
And then describes the three modes.
Goodness, passion, ignorance.
Sattva, rajas, tamas. They bind us.
To the material world.
Through attachment to happiness and knowledge.
That's sattva.
Attachment to desire and action.
Rajas.
And delusion, laziness, sleep.
They're always interacting.
Influencing each other.
Like three threads woven together.
Yeah, it's a complex tapestry.
In science,
Yeah.
it can only go so far.
It relies on imperfect senses.
Mind intellect.
There are always errors.
Illusions.
False.
Deception.
It can't reach perfection.
But those who are free from pride,
Illusion,
bad company,
dedicated to spiritual pursuit.
not caught up in duality.
They attain the eternal realm.
And Krishna describes his abode.
No sun, no moon, no fire.
Self-luminous
A place of no return.
and living beings.
Are eternal parts of Krishna. But we're struggling here.
With our minds and senses.
Attached to material things.
Forgetting our true connection.
And the ignorant can't see.
The coming and going of consciousness.
But the wise see it.
With the eyes of wisdom.
Now we get into
The asuras.
the demoniac nature.
They can't tell right from wrong.
No purity, no good behavior.
No truthfulness.
They think the world's unreal.
Without a controller.
Just born of lust.
Yeah.
And attached to
Lust, pride, arrogance.
deceitful ideologies.
Impure vows.
Endless worries that lead to destruction.
Focused on sense enjoyment.
Greedy for wealth.
Unjustly.
Their minds are bewildered.
Trapped in illusion.
Lost in desires.
Going down a dark path.
Full of themselves.
Doing fake sacrifices.
And Arjuna asks,
Yeah.
what about those who don't follow the rules?
But worship with faith.
Are they good or bad?
Krishna says faith is of three types.
Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasika.
Born of one's nature.
And then it talks about food
Yeah.
and the three modes.
Sattva promotes life purity.
Strength, health, joy.
Rajas is bitter, sour, salty, hot.
Causing distress and disease.
Tamas is stale, tasteless, rotten.
Impure.
And Krishna divides all food into these groups.
Like you are what you eat.
Right.
And tamasic food includes
Yeah.
contaminated vegetarian food.
And generally all non-vegetarian food.
Meats, fish, eggs.
Popular in many places.
But avoided by yogis.
And progressive people.
And sacrifice, charity, austerity.
They're all influenced by the modes.
Sattvika sacrifice is done according to the rules.
No desire for personal gain.
Rajasika is for show.
For rewards for fame.
Tamasika is against the rules.
Without faith.
No proper mantras,
Offerings.
feeding,
Yeah.
and charity.
Sattva gives out of duty.
At the right time and place.
Swoti people.
No expectation of return.
Rajas gives grudgingly.
For fame or something in return.
Tamas gives disrespectfully.
To the wrong people.
At the wrong time and place.
And austerity.
Sattva worships the demigods.
Guru's elders practices purity.
Non-violence, celibacy, truthfulness.
Gentle speech, mental satisfaction, gravity.
Self-control.
Rajas is for show.
Unstable.
Tamas is self-torture.
Harming others.
And then it explains the meaning of
Om Tad Sat.
indicating the absolute truth.
Used in sacrifices, austerities, charity.